Shinichi Sensei, I think maybe you remember in Las Vegas this summer, the theme was how to tell the difference, or how important it is to tell, for each of us to be able to tell the difference between mind moving and mind stuck, or mind stopped. So he's continuing the same theme. Please make yourself comfortable, don't have to sit down. And elaborating on it, really went much more deeply into it. So, he spent a lot of time helping us understand the difference between mind, use of mind, and the existence of ki. As you know, Toi-sensei described ki for us in the Shokushu as being everything there is in the whole universe. The universe is made of ki. That's what ki is. Ki is everything that you experience with your senses and otherwise. It's everything that there is. And it's always moving, right? That's some of the principle of the universe. Ki is always in motion, always moving. And we call this Aikido, the way to union with this movement, with ki. The way for you and I to be in harmony with, or in union with, or in sync with the movement of the universe. And as long as we're using our mind correctly, freely, openly, without prejudice, without judgment, without taking one side or the other and getting stuck there, then ki will move freely through us. Everything is ki movement. I mean, from the planetary, interstellar space movement, interplanetary movement, all the way down to the movement of quarks and whatever's smaller than that. And everything in between. Hurricanes, waterfalls, a ripe fruit dropping from a tree, the movement of the wind, whether it's severe or a mild spring breeze. All movement is what we call ki movement. But human beings, we have a unique ability because we have a mind that is aware of itself. So we have an ability to not just generate, but logarithmically increase the intensity of the movement of ki through our bodies by being in harmony with the universe. And we also, unfortunately, have the ability to stop our collaboration with or experience of the movement of this ki of the universe, right? Depending on how we use our mind. So the whole key to K-E-Y, to ki, K-I, practice, or ki training, ki principles, is that we learn to use our mind in a way that allows everything to move, continue to move through us without hesitation. So, like, as you know, when we were starting to learn a new language, or how to drive a car, or how to do a job a certain way, or how to surf, or how to ski, or how to play tennis, or how to do any of the many Aikido techniques, in the beginning, we receive some instruction, and we try to follow that instruction very, very carefully, right? And it's sometimes very important, can even be life and death, that you pay attention to the rules when you're surfing, or pay attention to the rules when you're driving a car, or pay attention to the rules when you're speaking a language in a foreign country so you don't say the wrong thing and somebody shoots you. So it's very, very important that you do it correctly. So in the beginning, we watch ourselves very carefully. And even, of course, there is some movement that we're doing as we're moving through, for instance, Aikido techniques. But when we're watching, as you know, even though there is ki movement there, it's very stop and start. It's very jagged movement. So there is ki movement, but it's very clumsy in the beginning, relatively speaking, because of the way we're using our mind. We're watching ourselves, so we're making it very, very klutzy and uncoordinated and not graceful. But the freer we get, the more confidence we get, the more calmness we get, the more graceful we get, and the freer our movement becomes, and the more effective and beautiful our movement is. So mind-body unification is always there, but our participation in it is intensified Mind-body unification is something we're born with, but when I'm saying it like that, I'm referring to this God-given, if you want to say it that way, this birthright that we have to participate in the key of the universe consciously. Right? So we call this, the Toei Sensei called this mind-body unification. When we think of the word in Japanese is toitsu. Toitsu means, you can say coordination or unification, but it doesn't, it's not referring to, like when we say shin shin toitsu aikido, mind-body unification aikido, or mind-body unified aikido. That is acknowledging that mind and body are already unified. The toitsu, the job we have to do, is to unify with in harmony with the movement of the universe. We already have mind-body unification. You don't have to try to get mind-body unification. You were born with it. Your experience of it depends upon your use of mind. This is what I'm talking about. So the more stumbling and doubtful and shy and nervous and trepidatious about how you use, how you experience mind-body unification. In other words, how you're learning to do something with your mind-body, the less the smooth participation will be, the more clumsy it will be. And the more experienced you get, of course, the more easy it is, until sometimes they'll call you a master. Master just means you practiced a lot. It doesn't mean you're something special, it just means you practiced a lot. So when you move, or when you speak, or when you give kyatsu, or when you cut bokken, then there is a grace and a power to it that seems, when I would see Toei Sensei sometimes cut the bokken, or Suzuki Sensei cut the bokken, it seemed impossibly powerful. Like, how can that be? Because he's so practiced, they're so practiced, so many years of repeating this same practice over and over and over, that it's filled with grace and beauty and power. I know everybody would like to have that. There's only one way to get that, and that's to practice, 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 right? And so it's a lifelong thing that you never get there. I'm still practicing. Everybody has to continue to practice, and then you become more and more refined, powerful, clear, free in this martial art we call Aikido. And hopefully it translates into everything else that you do when you're driving a car, or the way you do business, the way you interact with people in your business, and the way you interact with people in your family, your relationship with your spouse. Everything will become more graceful and more free. No such thing as perfect, but we're always improving ourselves. So, volunteer. Oh, okay. So let's, you know, when we say you have to learn to use your mind freely, that might sound a little intimidating. But all we really mean is just be friendly with people. And all the way from just being friendly with someone that you just meet, all the way to a deep state of compassion. This is all just mind-body unification. This is all just keying in with the key of the universe, or in other words, identifying with, moving with, experiencing the key of the universe. When you feel like you're judging someone, you don't like them, you don't like the way they're standing, you don't like anything about them, that means you're cutting yourself off in some way from this movement. And so your mind gets stuck on that. So that's why it's really important to resolve any kind of difficulties you have one way or another, so that you can be, so your mind can be free. So Shinichi Sensei, of course, likes to always give this example. When we shake hands, we always have a nice feeling, right? So that's a nice feeling. And when I do this, is your feeling the same?
No.
No. What's the difference? Like you feel trapped.
Yes.
Yeah, like you must struggle. Now, okay, now he's holding you. So this feeling is one thing, and this feeling can be the same. So I want you to try this with your partner. I want you to have this experience, which everybody can identify with, And in Japan, maybe you bow, but here we shake hands. And then when you hold the other person, hold them in the same way, with the same friendliness, and the same care, like you're holding a newborn baby, that you had when you shook their hand. And see if you can, and they'll give you feedback and let you know, is it the same feeling or is it maybe a little bit? Okay, try each other.